welcome to episode 2 of In the Dirt with John and Kyle, brought to you by Lube Monkey Racing. Thank you to Gary and all the people down at Wakefield Oil for helping us out and getting going in this. Racers, get down there. Go get your Renegade fuels and your Wix filters and Valvoline oil. All right, to say Kyle and I are overwhelmed by the positive response of episode 1 would be an understatement. Yeah, crazy, eh?
Yeah, I know, kind of overwhelmed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, we have, some of the metrics are, we have over 10,000 people who viewed this, our episode 1, and not all for the whole thing, but 10,000 people, that's a pretty good number for a couple guys. We're hoping between 40 and 80 people would watch. So, yeah, and the positive feedback has been incredible. The amount of...
Lots of female.
Yeah, 39% of our audience is female. So there you go, which is crazy.
Even the Speedway is almost like that, if you think of it. Like,
yeah.
It's got good females.
Yeah,
right? So
well,
nice
speaking of females, the ladies in sports, just 2 days ago, here we are. What better thing? We have tons of ladies at Thunder City Speedway who have done a fantastic job. They have their own page, and the girls at the Speedway are awesome. They've been they've been welcomed with open arms, I think.
Oh yeah.
And great to see them.
I think we're going to have some of them on the show in the future here. So.
That's the plan. Yeah, for sure. We'd like to have that. And this week we're going to have our first ever guest, the driver of the 316. Well, he'll come on in a minute. Shawn Polonoski, a friend of ours from way back, and you've known Shawn for a long time too.
27, 28 years probably. So
yeah, he's
that's
coming.
A while.
Yeah, he's coming up on 30 years, I believe.
Yeah, it's I believe 1995. So 30 years of racing.
So it'll be nice to have him on here in a minute. We'll talk a little bit. Well, I thought we were going to be able to break the Superstock Series date of August 6th, but we were beat to the punch on that
Thunder
one.
City Facebook page was quick to the punch today, but we can talk about it. But
yeah, what do you think?
Awesome. It's probably the best series Wissota has right now, and see the quality of Superstocks coming here. It's gonna be pretty cool for the drivers and the fans. So regular Wednesday night. So. And it's tied in, I think, with 3 other tracks right behind it, right?
Yeah.
It makes it entice some of the guys to come here anyway.
Yeah, Grand Rapids, Superior, and then Ashland to finish it off.
Right.
Hopefully we get them. Our American friends, let's not forget that.
Exactly.
In today's climate, it's a little changed, but...
Where it's at politics.
Yeah, wait, this is a politic-free show. Yeah. What else do we have? We have a bunch of rumors. Should we get right to that right away?
Yeah. You want to...
you can start. Yeah, go ahead with the
ran into Donnie Craig Saturday night, the LU game. He said he's going to have a new TRC ready at the end of February, early March. And talking to his brother Rob, they wanted to thank all the fans for that violent rollover he had at the end of the year, remember?
You were involved in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Really involved.
Yeah.
So you just thank everyone for their concern and just wanted to get that message across. So yeah, he's sticking with TRC, which he's been with for forever. So
yeah,
it'd be nice to see Don back out there.
Yeah, the 2 Craig boys they're great guys. Yeah, class acts. We nothing but good to say about those guys. What else you got there? You got a couple more up on the board.
Well, Garrett Paul messaged me right after the show last week. He liked the podcast and he kind of gave me some info what was going on. He says he's going to run 40 to 50 shows, USA, Canada. He said he's going to run all the Thunder City specials and a couple Wednesdays as well. And that big show down in Ogilvie, he's pre-entered for that big deal.
Yeah,
I think he said the BMOD Bash as well.
Yeah, so. Well, that is part of the Ogilvie big
okay,
deal
there you go. Yeah.
And there's a couple of Glenn Brown.
There's one Thunder Bay car.
Yeah, Glenn Brown is registered.
Glenn Brown, he likes Ogilvie. So.
Yep, Jamie Davis, a fellow Lube Monkey guy.
Garrett Paul, like we said, he's
Garrett Paul.
So I'm not sure, is there any other Canadian guys?
No, but some guys with some ties to the Speedway. The red one, Dan Wheeler.
Okay.
Jason Van de Kamp, the who's who of the B mods basically are
So
entered.
how much is that, just for the people that don't know, how much is that paying for the B mods? I can't.
25,000 to win US dollars.
25,000 US. So.
Yeah. And the A mod race that at the same time is, get this, 125,000 to win at Ogilvy. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, XR sanctions.
Yeah, Barry Braun, the Hibbing guy, the new Hibbing owner.
Hibbing owner, yeah.
So there we go. Yeah. You had something on the Milne?
Yeah, there's a third gen. It would be a third generation Billy Millen's son there. If he's a junior or not, but 13 years old, and he'll be in another B mod. He'll be in the B mod class. Nice to see that, and Billy's a good guy, so I'm sure it's nice to see his son out. And he plans on racing Mosquito and Thunder City. So.
Okay, I've got myself. I've been once again overwhelmed by the amount of messages we've got on people and from telling us what they're doing, what their plans. Everybody seems to be quite excited. Curtis Stay says they've added another car to the stable, younger. Yeah, there's going to be 4 of them out. So
I see. Down in Ogilvy, he had a late model.
Yeah, I don't know what
that's about, but
I don't know if he's got plans for that too. But the Automation Now team there,
you can stay about the stays. They're quite passionate. So
very, very much so. Yeah, Curtis messages me now and then. A really good guy. I've got an old Hornet driver, James Cuthbertson, who lives in Nipigon, I believe, still.
Yeah.
He's got a street stock coming out this year, and him and Carter Warenga, and another new street stock guy. I believe maybe he had one at the end of the year.
Maybe, I think because he was a yeah, exactly. I believe so.
And they're coming out in that street stock. Patrick Davis, another guy who's been here every week, I believe.
Last year he ran every week, yeah.
Yeah, at a Sioux Lookout, he texted. He said he's going to be coming back, and he's got a new motor and same car, and he plans on being here.
That's a TRC.
Another TRC, yep. Another guy who I've talked to this week, and a good family man and a friend of the Speedway. I don't know. He's a good guy. He speaks his mind a bit too, and he's very passionate about racing. Andrew Pilo and the whole Pilo team. They've got 7 cars between the Pilo family coming up.
I think we were BSing last night like we do, and we were saying I think between the Pilos, the Kiwis, and the Harrys out that way, they could run Mosquito by themselves.
Yeah, for sure. There is a lot. Yeah, they have a lot. But the exciting news on Andrew Pilo is he's got a new car to him.
Okay.
Street stock, first one that he's purchased out of the U.S., I believe, and his daughter, another female racer coming in, 16-year-old. She's coming in too this year. Also, we had some guys reach out from Winnipeg. A couple. Brandon Rehill reached out to me and said that he will be racing here a couple times the next year. The June invite, and then again, hopefully in the fall. He's got a brand new, or not, new to him, Millennium. Yeah, a Strand car.
He's running an A-mod, is he not?
A-mod, yes. Okay. He'll be in an A-mod, yeah. Who else do we have here? Dan Teixeira reached out.
Yep, a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times he's reached out. He's got a new motor coming and some updates to the car. Rick Simpson has talked to me a few times. He's a friend of the show, and he's a good guy. I see him at my daughter's volleyball and basketball. He says he's having a scaled back year, and
I heard just a Wednesday nights for him. I think he's got some.
He's getting
family
married.
Commitment.
Yeah, he's getting married too. Yeah,
family commitments, and I think he's going to hit it hard the next year. I have an inkling of that. But
yeah, the next year or maybe the year after. We'll see. His name might come up again a little later in the show. Well, what do you figure? Is it time to introduce our
Stone Cold music or what?
Yeah, we should have the entrance, the glass breaking, but here we are. Here's the first guest on our show. Well, let's welcome Shawn Polonoski to the show. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. Shawn? Yep. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Well, here you are. What's it feel like?
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this all week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great to have you here. let's start up. Well, tell us your story. How did it start?
Well, I followed racing with my dad from the late 70s, Riverview, all through the 90s. And then got into a little bit of drag racing, kind of changed from, I really didn't even have nothing to do with dirt for a few years. And then, but I did grow up like next to me with a Charche boys. They lived right next door to me with building cars. And the corner of the block where I grew up was Hank Martagic, and he built the streeter with Donnie Monroe years ago. Whoa.
My wife looked after him in
Yeah,
Rosie Manor.
so I grew up with
Very fast way.
I grew up with those guys. Royden Williamson was a car that we always followed, and then through the 90s, Joel Kreiderman, Tom Nesbitt. It was 94. I don't know what. I think it might have been the Invitation. There was the opening of Mosquito. We went out. Me and a couple buddies went out there to check it out, and I just decided that I'm buying a car. And in the fall of '94, I bought an A-Mod, and then we started racing
From
Yoni Poland.
That's correct. Yeah.
Bought it from Yoni, turnkey, and we went through it. And then I had DC Automotive was a friend of mine, and he sponsored me, and I had I worked at Buchanan's at the time, and we raced at 95 at Mosquito, and then a couple times in the States, and we ended up 5th in points that year. And then from there I went to a late model, 96, 97. Met a lot of people. We raced the States lots, 98, 99 is when me and Gary Soderholm, good friend of mine.
Great guy. Yeah.
We started building our own cars. We built an A-Mod, a new A-Mod, did 2 of them at the time, and then we built a Super Stock. The Super Stock went to Dave Allen, and then in 99, that one A-Mod that we built, it was Gary's. Gary didn't have a motor at the time, so he was like, Shawn, we could run this car, and we'll put your motor in it. That's kind of the start of
316. Is that how? So how did that?
I think we'll get there. Right?
Yeah.
I just want to say, like that first year, Shawn. Like, what'd you think? Like, did lots of learning.
Well, maybe
some of the people you met that first year became friends, and just kind of go from there.
Well, I've always been a little cocky, so I decided when I got that car, I was heading to Proctor because I'm gonna win this shit.
Yeah.
And we went to Proctor the first time. Me and it was Mike Witt too. His dad owned Mid Canada at the time, and he one of my best friends. Yeah, and Bernie Peterson. We loaded up. We headed to Proctor on a Sunday, and we got this. The water truck was faster. I followed that water truck for I don't know how many laps. The first race, I remember downshifting.
Yeah, very humbling sport.
Very humbling, and then Jimmy Boldick was a friend of mine too, and a couple guys came over, explained a few things to me how to do it, and then we went to Mosquito the following few weeks later, and we were all right. We ran fine, and I raced with you, Johnny.
Oh yeah, way back when at the start. Yeah, we had some times, a couple times in Hibbing. I can remember some.
I got a lot of funny stories about Hibbing with you. So
with the Miller boys.
Miller. Well, that was
what year would that have been?
Yeah,
90s.
It would have been through 9 because Robbie and Jamie both raced. They started just before me in '94. They shared a car together, and I worked for their dad for years. He was my boss. And
Jimmy was your boss.
Jimmy was my boss, and one thing about working with him, he loved racing and kind of supported me going racing, so it worked out real well. He was a tough guy to work for, but he was good to me.
And then having that fateful night when I think I took home more money than any other Thunder Bay driver that night.
That wasn't on the Speedway though. I thought I heard.
No, it
was on the Speedway.
It was on the Speedway. Yeah, you're right.
It was on the Speedway.
Not in the car though.
No,
What was that about?
years ago, so when Jimmy passed away, everyone knows that involved in racing, and when we'd go racing, his thing at each racetrack we went to, it was called the Hammer Run. You'd figure out what it was.
Yeah.
So we'd go. I remember one time in Menominee, we were at I think it was the Punky or whatever, and he said, "Shawn, I've never done this track before." I said, "Whatever, you're nuts, Jim." On the speedway, he heads out and gears down, and he's running his lap at the Menominee there. I got up into the stands and turned all the lights on. the speedway lights went on. Next thing you know, there was a whole pile of people watching Jimmy do the Hammer Run, and he did that at I think almost every track, honestly. And then we were in Hibbing with Johnny, and it was after Jimmy had passed. And I honestly, I don't even know how. I mean, it might have rained out. We ended up drinking, and somebody came up with.
It was one of a businessman from town.
Yeah, it
here.
was. I can't remember who, and I don't want to say in case it was the wrong person, but.
It was a businessman from town. He was involved in logging.
I'll pay $100 if one of you idiots will do that Hammer Run you're talking about. Well. Johnny didn't even. He was already out of his pants by the time he spit out 100, and he wanted a head start on the deal. So he trucked her onto the speedway. He's there. Johnny, he was had to be half an hour later, but here's Johnny coming around, and then one of our other friends. He waited till Johnny was about halfway. And he goes, "I could use the 100," and he took off. But no, it was a funny night. We've had plenty of them.
Way back in.
So you ran that mod, and then you eventually got into late model. Not very long after that.
We ran.
Why'd you do that, Shawn?
I honestly don't know. No, I don't know what I was thinking. I met a few guys who were racing late models, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go and try it out. And I did it.
Mosquito was running them too, I think.
I only raced there a couple times. But we traveled. That's when I was racing. I was fairly young, right? I was 22 and was able to go. And so we went to Superior and Menominee and did a lot of racing through the 90s. Then I went back to a mod because I wanted to be more competitive, basically. Because back when I was 21, 22, you didn't have the money, like you didn't have the better motors, you know what I mean, and you still had to compete against Jimmy Mars and stuff like that, where the equipment was a lot better.
Okay, so then here we are. Then racing, I know in 05, 06, you did pretty well in it, and then racing kind of rebirthed in Thunder Bay thanks to the Simpsons, I guess, pretty much.
Simpsons and the Harrys.
And the Harrys, thank the Harrys too. And those early Mosquito Invitationals, you had quite a bit of success at those.
Yeah, always a top car.
And that would have been a super stock. I switched over to through the 2000s. 2003, we raced Mosquito full time. And we had great success at Mosquito. Me and Kevin had great battles together. In 05, 06, 07, I started traveling and racing for national points and whatnot, bought new cars, and I had Gary Soderholm used to travel with me, Dale Soderholm. We'd leave Friday and we were back Sunday kind of deal, and I got my oldest boy was born in 04.
Hunter.
Yeah, 2004. So 2004, I didn't really race a whole lot. 2005, I went full-time basically again. 2006, I went full-time. And then I tapered off. Austin was born in 07, so we tapered off a little bit. And then I decided, I'm gonna go to a super stock just because I could probably run better with it. Not with a modified, you gotta still travel to be competitive, And, so I decided, I think it was around 2012. I bought a super stock. I started racing, just have some fun, and I really enjoyed it. They steered well, and the guys that raced the class were really good. And then the Mosquito.
When did that reincarnate? What was the first year of that?
Of what?
14. 2014 was the start of the Mosquito, and they paid. I know that it was $3,000, and I remember the race perfectly. Rick Simpson led majority of the race, and I can't. Rick could tell you better. I can't remember if it was 3 to go, 5. If it was a 25 lap feature, it was his, but I think it was a 30 lapper, and I got him with 5 to go or something. It was a good race, and then so we won that one, and then I had a beam on at the time, and you know what I mean. We ran good with that. In 15, we won with the B mod, and then I ran like second for about 5 years after that.
Yeah.
At the Mosquito. I really like Mosquito. It's a good speedway, a lot of bank, a lot of room to get around the speedway. And then, you know,
And then the reincarnation, the rebirth.
We're here now with Thunder City.
Yeah, and so Thunder City comes. Had you already started the parts business,
No.
or was that?
We started the fall, I guess, of 2021. The fall of 21, I decided, okay, well, we need something more here, you know, and being a racer and how it was for me to have to go to the border all the time, and I needed to do something to help out, basically, because when you buy a race car, there's so much more that comes involved with
exactly.
it. Like and I seen it. You know what I mean? I've seen it where guys buy. And I'll tell them, like, why are you buying this? Don't buy this. And I tell it to you, or I tell it to Kyle. You know what I mean? A lot of people. So I kind of did that. So like when a guy comes to see me, I don't necessarily. I don't need to sell you.
Yeah.
If I can make something work or tell you how to change away something to save a little bit of money, because it is, you know, I mean, racing is expensive.
Oh yeah, and
Worse, yeah.
So now so we sell parts, we sell chassis, and
well, leading into that, go ahead. The Shaw cars.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, well, maybe what brought you back into an A-mod too, maybe just the track here probably, but I don't know, I was gonna get into Joel, but maybe we'll do that later. But yeah, just how you got hooked up with the Shaws and became a dealer for them first. And you seemed to be a good match.
yeah, well, the Shaw, you know what I mean, there's a ton of chassis builders, and every one of them are there's no bad car. I always say there's no bad setup, there's no bad car. But the more help you get with the car. So if you buy say you bought a GM from whatever dealership, and you bought a Ford, if that Ford dealer treats you better, you go there. So the same is with the Shaw. So I met Kevin years ago. You know, I mean, I've been to a lot of racing clinics, you name it. To do with racing and to be fast, you do a lot of research, and so Kevin Shaw was a friend of mine, and I talked to him about what I had for a plan, and so far it's been great. We got a good B mod program, or A mod programs getting better. I ran better last year, you know, and then we designed the super stock, and I'm really enjoying the car. It's really working out well. We changed some stuff for 25, and we found some speed, and I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah.
You got a guy to knock off there in town here. So.
Yeah, no,
I got a target,
I'm
or maybe two
yeah,
guys.
that's all right. I'm good with competition, and you know what I mean. You don't have to win as long as you're getting better each week, and it's nice to win. But even if you're
well, and then you're in the same boat as me and Johnny. You're kind of a one night a week guy too.
Yeah.
It's tough with these guys. We're not making excuses, but it's kind of a fact.
So if you had to say, do you have any rivals, like if they're in the A mod and or the super stock?
Maybe rivals, and then and then maybe guys you enjoy racing about. What about
rivals? You had a look on your face there with rival.
The A mod's not. I don't really have in the supers. Yeah, I got a couple. One. I have one. I'd say, Johnny.
Yeah, who's that?
I'd say Rex Simpson.
Rex Simpson.
Yeah.
Rex Simpson. Wow.
I'd say that's probably me and him. We don't see eye to eye a lot. No.
He's aggressive.
Well, you know,
Rick's a tough
if I between me and you, and if I have troubles with him this year, I'm probably gonna have to put him in a timeout.
Oh boy. We're gonna have to have Rick on here to answer to this.
No, I'm just kidding. I get along good with him.
Yeah.
We just have fun.
Oh yeah, buzzing up Rick. Hey, being the driver of the 316, do you have anyone who's helping you out? Like,
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I had to read off paper though, because I don't.
Yeah, there's some guy. I had a text today for someone.
My crew is actually. I got without them, I probably wouldn't be racing. You know.
Yeah, there you go. We all can say that probably for sure.
You know, my A-Mod. So the A-Mod's basically taken care of by Tim Nesbitt, Tim Cardone, Luch Karate, and Wally Lukowski. Well, he didn't come a lot this year, but I'm guaranteed he'll be back next year. The Super Stock, Chris Plisnikis, Johnny Rival, and Addison Schooler look after that program. Austin's car. It's when we decided to get Austin racing. I told him that he had to get his crew together, and we originally called it
the six-pack.
The six-pack. Right now it's down to 4 or 5, but whatever. That's
usually what happens.
yeah. It's Connor Jerison, Cole Swalwell, Marcus Kaukinen, and Daniel Lombardo. And then with Joel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, with Joel,
yeah,
how did that, we want to know how that
like,
came about.
How did, Joel hadn't raced for what, 10, 11 years or whatever?
Yeah, you know,
how
honestly,
did that, I know you guys been buddies, maybe how you got to be buddies, then how
yeah,
that
we
come
all
about.
we all met through racing. I met Joel through racing, and my dad, actually when I was younger, we would go literally stand on Joel's trailer and hung out. And I think I'm 52, Joel. So there's 12, 14 years between me and him or something like that. And I always got along good with him, and honestly, I might have just said, we had a car, and I said, well, you still got your helmet? Like, why don't you race it? And they're paying
at Mosquito.
That's right, they're paying a decent purse at Mosquito, which was, you know what I mean? So there's incentive when there's money involved, and I have a car sitting there, and then it went into, okay, you know what, we're not going to race a B-Mod, because B-Mod to me still was an entry-level class for guys, to start out and race with. And we've been racing so many years that I said, we're going to go back to an A-Mod. And Joel ran the new A-Mod. You know what I mean? We've been number 2 for 3 years with him.
Yeah.
We had the first year when the track was in, you know what I mean? It wasn't in the greatest shape then, and we lost the car then. Which, I took a big hit on that one. But no, it's worked out good. Like I said, his crews, Howie, Mark, Darcy, and Jen, they look after his car.
And he's driving a Rage chassis, which you're also a dealer for.
He's driving a Rage chassis. I drive a Shaw. The Shaw's and a Shaw Superstock. And we've had good luck with it. We both bounce ideas off each other, and we have a goal. If Cole's running as fast as he is, we're just trying to catch him. And basically, trying to knock off tenths of a second here and there to get on the same page as he is.
Tough competitor, though.
All the classes are,
Yeah.
So, the average fan's not going to know. We kind of know, but say, how much is different between, say, a Rage chassis and a Shaw's for the average fan? I'm sure some of your scale or your load numbers are different.
The car is a lot. The car is a lot different.
Yeah.
The car is a lot different. They're two different animals, I'd say.
And how has your relationship with Rage been?
Really good. Justin's a great guy. I may talk to him today, and I keep in touch. And I don't have. I talk to him just as much as I would talk to Kevin. There's no nothing better than or nothing, but the Rage is 10 hours away from me.
Yeah.
Not 18. Not 18 to Shaw. And the Mosley family, that's who owns Shaw now, are great people, and Jeff Taylor, you know what I mean? We talked to him, and
how'd that come about? Him driving the car here last year? That's
invitational.
Well, I just I can't remember how it came up. He was coming. He said he was going to come down. They were bringing a chassis to the border, and he said, "Well, you got anything to drive?" And then I was teasing him, "Well, I might have a streeter for you." And then I'm thinking to myself, well, it would be a good opportunity to shake down the A-Mod and run it. And I'm fine racing the Super, and then
you got ran the street stuff.
Then what happened was Austin had to move away to school and whatnot. Playing hockey. So I was like, I'm going to jam my butt in that seat. And I had fun with it. And
I got Jeff's usually running IMCA stuff, which we tell the people the motors are a little different. What was his thoughts? I think I kind of know. But when he ran your car up here, what did he say? What do you think about what we do up here?
Well, he didn't understand how we can run that motor on that speedway.
How slick it was.
So for Jeff, we unhooked the 4 barrels. He ran it as a 2 barrel. And I tell them
Wow.
to this day, all I know is I've never had to unhook the 4-barrel. No.
We might be onto something.
Oh, yeah, you seem to be moving forward.
No, we actually unhooked the rear linkage for the 4-barrel.
Now, at our speedway, you're an advocate of it. You've ran there since the start. You and Norm have a relationship
Yeah, I like the guys running the speedway is great. You know, it's phenomenal.
It is.
You know, I mean, the speedways, like sea cans around it, the atmosphere there. You don't have to worry about your truck sinking in the mud.
No, it's first class.
It's a first class. You know what I mean? I wish the speedway's a little different. You know what I mean?
Corner 4 maybe.
A little banking.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. It's what we got.
Yeah.
They got it figured out for keeping it smooth now, and
They're getting it's a lot better than the first year. Like it's
Oh,
race wise, like
race
especially
wise, they're getting a little bit on the
Yeah.
top now, so we're
Yeah.
getting 2 grooves going. We're racing them like I like to race in the middle of the speedway.
Yeah, would you, if there was a change or anything you'd like to see, or
No, mine was all about. Mine would be like a lesser invitational and a points fund. That's kind of
Yeah.
and I've said that for a couple of years.
What do you mean by the invitational?
Well, you know, I don't
I
think we need to
I
race.
think you agree with me. So.
No, I don't think we need to race for 10,000. Like
Well,
I'd
have
rather,
the same amount of money, but $5,000 to win.
right. Well,
Pay back.
the problem is it's all right to pay a big purse, but it's the guys in the back half.
Well,
You know what I mean?
And you got to keep those guys involved.
It takes
Sport.
everybody. It takes everybody. You need a 20th place car. You need a 15th place car. But they all need to
Well,
get a little.
and they need a 20th place car needs something incentive
Yeah.
to become a 5th place car.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? You want to keep them in the sport. And you got to
Yeah.
pay the back of the field.
Yeah, no, and then something you're racing every week. Like you know, I mean, I raced for points at different
Yeah.
speedways, and it was always a points fund. Like you're there, you're committing every day to going there. I just think a points fund, like make it if it was Truck Center sponsoring the Invitational, then have take part of that and do like this is points fund is sponsored by so on. You know what I mean? And that's what's good about our speedway is that there's a ton of sponsors.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
They're there.
that seems to be almost
have-
a whole
we have-
different game.
We have a
is
lot
the
of sponsors,
sponsorship
so
game.
you know what I mean. If we had a Johnny Coppock points fund, for, I'm just you know what I mean, and something like,
like that.
Where you're racing,
I like that.
Where you're racing every Wednesday
Yeah.
for more than a trophy or a little. You know what I mean? What if it was 2,000 or 3,000 to win points fund? Well, you're gonna make sure you're there.
Well, I wouldn't have been involved in it last year because of that miss for half the year. Well, speaking of that, then a guy gave me another nickname.
Well, that's
You, yeah.
Johnny Johnny missed the year.
Yeah, beauty. Thanks. You said that one right near the end after I figured it out, and I had a good chuckle on that one. Yeah, Johnny missed a
You
year.
can only go up this year, John.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, by the end of the year, there at Mosquito, the thing was running good, and we got her figured out, and we'll be back.
Actually, I was one who got him back racing.
Yeah, crazy story here. So after all these years of racing and that, and then really
I didn't actually see. I probably had to be 10,
15 years.
Yeah.
Never seen each other one time.
Well, I was in hockey.
Yeah. I call him up and say, hey, I drafted your kid.
Yeah.
he was a goalie. Hunter was the goalie on our team.
Yeah,
and
VP Bearcats. And that was some of the best. That was so much fun. We had a great time those years. And
and then been friends ever since.
Yeah,
like,
and then you had that old car.
Yeah.
And I went.
He went to my house.
I went and grabbed the car and I updated it, made it a 3-link and whatnot. And then
I don't think you raced that car.
no. He was close.
Larry and I were close. Larry Booth was in the crowd.
It was at Larry Booth's house. Larry's like, I don't know, Shawn, can we lift it so I can at least cut the grass under it? And then what ended up happening was I had a car. And I said, Johnny, we'll just work out a deal, and that's the car he has today, and he's racing. But I don't think we didn't have. If you didn't have, we were racing.
We talked about.
Well, I was over there. A couple winters ago.
Yeah.
Cars getting, and then he said, Shawn may have mentioned something. Well,
there's a new plan. He's got a new plan.
Yeah.
It took a couple weeks or a month or whatever.
Yeah, I said there's a new plan, and we worked out. And,
and here we are back. Yeah, it's been. I would not be racing if it wasn't for Shawn Polonoski. I can honestly say that. He's helped
He's helped a lot of
a
guys.
ton of dudes, and we'd like to thank him for that.
Myself included.
Yeah, he's helped out a lot of dudes. Well, here we are. We are over 35 minutes
I
already.
didn't think you were going to get it done in 30 minutes, Sean.
Yeah, we're at 35 minutes, and I think a good show again.
Yeah.
Sean would like to thank some of his sponsors, I think.
I actually would.
Well, I was gonna. Well, you thank him, Sean, and I'm gonna ask you a question after that.
Yeah, sure. I
Maybe
got
your plans on this year and stuff.
okay. Thunder Bay North Stars.
Yeah, look at that, eh?
Yeah, they came out and supported me, and they've been great.
The 13th forward.
I just came out.
Yeah, he's got a spot on the bench.
Yeah, Ultramar,
Is that Micus?
Yeah, Trevor's been a good friend of mine, helps me out, and comes to the races, supports me. Molson, Miller Lite,
Well, there you go. Yeah, product
Cold-
placement
cold-
here.
cold beer.
Sean brought the beer.
Cold beer after the races is great. McKinga Contractors, John there, Hemi John there. He likes his Dodges, and I did run a Dodge actually.
Yeah,
and,
a couple of years ago in the A-Mark.
yeah, I did. And, been great to me. A1 Concrete, been Marco and Louie have been with me since 1995. Fork South Sports Lounge, like
Chris
my-
Blaznikas,
I'm
a
there.
mutual friend, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of my good buddies that
Well, you
works on
spent a lot of time there.
works on my super stock.
Good pit spot after work, eh?
So John, the two guys that work on my super, honestly, never touched a wrench until
Yeah, they didn't.
a few years ago, and now they take care of that car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do a great job with it, and
Chris is a solid dude.
and no, and just I wouldn't be the athlete for him if it wasn't for the protein wings that he brings to the speedway and feeds us every Wednesday.
Yeah, he keeps you nourished.
Cardoni Brothers Service, that's my buddy Tim and Todd. They help me out. They have B&B cabinets. Louis, if you ever need a kitchen done, that's Carlo and G need a haircut, get tuned up at his place. Premier Use Truck Parts, Kevin.
Yeah. All right, here we are. Listen, a lot of people
By
are
the way,
asking
that's
where it
where
is.
we are.
Listen, that is where we are. That's where we're filmed today.
RBC Wealth Management, Sean Kunis.
Oh, Sean,
Yeah.
another Loon Laker.
Yeah, Canadian Dirt Track Center and DJ's Truck and Trailer.
Yeah.
That's my sponsors and Kreiderman's.
Well, Johnny, we were kind of BSing a couple weeks ago. We weren't really sure if Joel's going to be back in your car or what. There was a bit of a
That's
cryptic
one
message on Facebook.
cryptic
So,
message.
we're
We'd
gonna
like
say
to
it.
thank Joel
What,
for his service.
What's your
Like,
guys' plans this year? All Austin, you, Joel, same deal? Yeah.
Joel will be racing. He'll be racing the A-Mod again. I'll be racing an A-Mod and the Super. Austin will be in the Streeter at the end of June.
He's
He's telling people
he's out west playing hockey, and he's having a great year. And we'll just
wow, yeah,
we'll just see.
We'll
see next
he's
year.
jumped up a level and a half this year. Really, like I'll brag for him. He's second in scoring in that CSSHL or whatever, a very good league. And as a 17-year-old, his future looks pretty bright. You guys ought to be proud of that, Gina and yourself.
Yeah, no, we are, and then Hunter's
going to be a doctor.
Hunter's doing his own thing, and they both support me. Like Hunter's at the races. He works I do a lot of motors in my own garage, and he's there helping me with that. And Gina, I can't say nothing enough about her. She's beside me all the time, and she, if I'm not racing, she'll be questioning it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So your plans for this year? Is there any traveling?
We're gonna try to get out in April. I'd like to get to Cedar Lake, but we're gonna go do some testings as soon as we can get some tracks going. We're gonna go probably to Iowa and do some testing.
We going, John?
We're gonna try to do, hit a couple specials. We're good. The Super Stock Series. We'll see if I can run all of that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. We're just gonna juggle. We don't know where we're gonna be with Austin and what camps we have to go to for hockey and whatnot. But we're gonna try to do the Little Dream again. We built the USRA late model.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, we built a late model.
What's
So we're
the
gonna
thought process there?
we're just gonna because I wanted a car. It was either gonna be a Super or a late model because I want to keep it closer to him driving the streeters. He's with the late model steers good. It's close to the same idea as the streeter.
Yeah. So nice. And who's Austin's going to drive that?
Yeah, Austin's going to drive it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can, opportunity.
And that's an MB?
That's an MB, yeah. And we put a 604 crate in it.
And you're hoping early early in
We're
after
gonna-
June,
well,
or are you
soon-
going to test it?
No, as soon as I'm not doing anything. No, you can drive it. I already tried to sit in his seat.
Well, he's growing a lot. He's
No,
got to be.
He's taller than me.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably about
I
it.
don't,
Well, what do you think?
I really enjoyed it, guys. I like I told you, I said I don't think it's all racers that want to hear gossip and whatnot.
Yep.
There's a lot of fans, and everybody's watching somebody on that speedway. And I just had the topic with a fellow the other day. It was, if your favorite driver is Kyle Monteith. There is nothing that Kyle Monteith can do wrong. Just like when you watch Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, exactly.
But now you have that spread through 140 cars in those grandstands. Well, those people in the grandstands don't know the whole story about racing and how it came about and who's doing what. So this is a great thing you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
John, I think we talked about. We're gonna maybe do a local trivia question.
Yeah.
I just thought of one here. I'm gonna off the cuff to see if you can answer it. The 1998 Mosquito A-Mod track champion. This might throw you off. Do you got any idea who it is?
Pat Woods.
It's actually a tie.
Yeah, Ron Moreno.
Ron Moreno and Jeff Marshall tied.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Jeff missed a week, but yeah, they tied for the. They both got a purple Hoosier jacket and everything.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Well,
Sean got it.
I 100% remember. Well, Ronnie was still to this day a good friend of ours.
Yeah,
Wow.
Side note, I dated Ronnie's daughter for a couple of years, but yeah.
There you go. All right, before we go, let's have our pick for the Super Bowl this weekend.
I don't even want to watch it. I know it'll be Kansas City.
What do you got, Kyle?
I got 28-21 Kansas City. I think Philly's a slightly better team, but that Mahomes always seems to come through.
No,
so I don't know. Can't really bet against it.
I think it'll be Kansas City too, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They like
the
Taylor
best-
Swift.
best-
My daughter likes Taylor Swift. We'll watch that.
I ain't watching. There'll be some race on. I can't wait to watch.
I don't know if there's any on Sunday. Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Where's
tape it. Anyways, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks,
again.
Sean.
Thanks, Kyle. And remember, stay dirty. That's it.